Sunday games. It's the West Tigers back at Leichhardt Oval, this massive fortress that they never win at. Number 1, Dane Laurie, Nofaluma, Naden, Talau, Staines, Dewey, Brooks, Stefano Yu, Api Coruscant, his name, please, Sheens, Benji, if you're watching this, start him in number 9. Do not put him on the bench. Number 10, David Klemmer, Isaiah Papali'i, Shaw Bloor, Joe Offenhage, Jake Simpkin, Asu Kapoa, Alex Seyfarth, Alex Twal, get him his first try, and Stafford Toa line up the 18th man. Now, this is the Tigers side who, I think like they said in post-game interviews, they can take a lot out of how they played last week. It wasn't a complete blowout. They had some good moments. They were 1 or 2 passes away from scoring, but ultimately they did go down to the Titans. So what do you make of this squad? Then we'll flick it across and we'll talk about the opponents for this game, and then obviously we'll get our predictions at the end of that. You're horrible with this muting today. I'm going to unmute you. Go.
Look, I'm muting myself as I take a drink because every time I've been taking a drink, I've mixed my bourbon with a bit of 7-Up. That's not to take a pun out of you, Tony. It's just all I have on offer at the moment, and every time I'm burping afterwards. So I do apologize. I don't want the listeners to listen to me burp every time I'm taking a drink, but I still think Leichhardt is this fortress because every now and then the Tigers just seem to get up and win. Don't know what it is about it. I don't know if you've been to the game. I've been to Leichhardt Oval for a reserve grade game, and me and my father were sitting up the back of the grandstand on the western side, and it was just great to hear everything that echoed through that stadium. And I can only imagine what it's like when it's fully packed with the Balmain or Western Suburbs faithful or West Tigers, whatever you want to call yourself, those faithful who come loud and proud wearing the orange, white, and black. I know a friend of yours, maybe Brianna, her and her father always go there, and it's good to see that they are still supporting this side that are struggling both on and off the field. I'm rambling on because there's not much positive things to say about this Tiger side. Again, with you, I side. Appy needs to start. Do not bench him. You know, this is the marquee signing. Now club captain, but you start on the bench. This just has loss written all over it. If I knew that, I would have maybe changed my tip, but it is what it is. We'll get into the Knights lineup, which you'll flick over on them in a minute. And you got Lachlan Miller in the fullback role with Hamill Hunt and Dominic Young in the wing position, Dane Gaga and Roman Best in the centre role, with Kalyn Ponga making his return from his HIA protocols and Jackson Hastings to return to his former side at the halves pairing. You've got Daniel Saifiti and Jacob Saifiti, brothers in pairing, ready to destroy this West Tigers pack in the front row position with Jaden Brayley in the 9 role, Tyson Frizzell and Lachlan Fitzgibbon in the second role position, and Kurt Mann to round out the lock. We got Phoenix Crossland, Jack Johns, Jack Harrington, and Leo Thompson to make the interchange side, with Brody Jones to make the 18th man bench. Again, this team were unlucky. I'll call it. They were unlucky to go down to the Warriors last week away in New Zealand. I think if they keep Kalyn Ponga on the field, let's just say in a world where he didn't have to go off of the HIA, I think they may have come home with a late win, maybe by 2, maybe another golden point game. But it didn't happen that way, so hopefully Kalyn Ponga steps up, and so does Jackson Hastings also step up against his former club and lead this side around the park. And I'm going to call it Knights 1-12 over the West Tigers. I don't care who you start at 9 for the West Tigers. I don't care who you start for the 1-13 role, because no matter who you put in there, no one that they're going to replace is any better. Like you look at John Maiden now, he's been, it was climatizing, then it was second was the ankle injury, and then the third now latest thing is he needs to learn the plays. I think it's a bag of excuses coming out of the West Tigers office.
Yeah, 100%. Now, obviously, Dane Gagai is suffering with a tight hamstring, so we'll see if he gets through that final training to see if he does make that side. If he doesn't, you've got Greg Marsher, who's returning from injury, that is named the Munster reserve. So if he is ruled out, do not be shocked if obviously Marsher comes in, or if not, Anari Tuala does come into that starting lineup now. The only other thing is Tyson Frizzell. He is fighting a head knock. He does have to pass all protocols on Friday night to make this game. So it's a great squad. Listen, I look at this Newcastle squad and I go, they should be playing final football on paper. Yes, Lachlan Miller is a little bit inexperienced, but Hymel Hunt, Dane Gagai, Bradman Best, Dominic Young, Kalen Ponga, Jackson Hastings, the Safidis, Frizzell, Fitzgibbon, Kurt Mann, they've got a squad that should be competing now. Yes, they're going to win games. Yes, they're going to lose games. But I think the loser of this game is in a lot of trouble for the rest of the season. So I'm going to go Newcastle. I'm going 13 plus. I think if you asked me at the start of the season who I thought was better between the Knights and the Titans, I was taking the Knights all day. And if they could upset the Tigers at Leichhardt, I'm taking the Knights to do it again and go that 13 plus margin, if not a little bit more closer to that 20. So Baxter, we've had a few different changes. We've got to the final game of the